Hi guys, so we're back. This is the fourth tutorial in the series, and we're gonna look at some if statements, um, or I guess we could call them some conditionals. If statements, conditionals. So let's jump right in. Here I'm gonna put if I is equal to 5, then we print out this. Alright, so let's try it. Let's see what it says. Let's see how it goes. Okay, there we go. So let's refresh. There we go. Right? It's equal to 5. Alright. Let's do a different conditional. Let's say if everything that is more than and equal to 5. Then we print it. Let's see how that goes. And there we go. Everything 5 and above. Okay, great. Now, there is a certain question that people often get asked when you're trying to test their skills with conditionals, and that is if there are multiples of 3, multiples of 5. If you have a multiple of 3, print something. If you have a multiple of 5, print something. And if you have both multiples of 3 and 5, then you print something. So let's do that. I'm going to increase the number to 100, and we're going to say we're going to use the modulus. Okay, I modulus 5. Basically, it's I divided by 5, and it gives you the remainder. If the remainder is 0, that means it's a multiple of 5. If the remainder is anything but 0, then it's not a multiple of 5. So I'm gonna put this, send some brackets. Is it equal to 0? Then we print it. Here we're gonna print, let's print multiple of 5. Okay? Alright. Then we're gonna say multiple of 3. So I'm gonna put it above because 3 is a smaller number than 5. Multiple of 3. Okay? So if it's a multiple of 3, so if it's I modulus 3, if the remainder is equal to 0, then it's a multiple of 3. Okay, so we have multiple 3, multiples 5. We want also if it's a multiple of both 3 and 5. So we're going to do this. And we're going to use and this. So basically what we're doing here is we're using the and, which says if it's a multiple of 5 and if it's a multiple of 3, then we print multiple of 3 and 5. Correct? Alright, so let's try this and see how this works. Okay, so as you can see, multiple of 3, multiple of 5, multiple of 3 and 5, 3 and 5. There we go. Alright, so it works. Now there's something we could do. We could add an else statement. We can first look for multiples of 3. And then if we don't find any multiples of 3, then we can look for multiples of 5. And if we don't find any multiples of 3 or 5, then we try to look for multiples of 3 and 5. This is going to give something that is really strange. It's not necessarily... I think the best way to do this is we start with this. We check to see if there are both multiples of 3 and 5. Then we do the else statement. So if we don't find any multiple, if this statement is not satisfied, then we need to check, oh, so is there a multiple of 3 at least? And then if there's not a multiple of 3 at least, then we check, is there a multiple of 5 at least? And then if there's a multiple of 5 at least, then we print 5. All right? Now let's check this and see how different it's going to be. So this is what we got, right? Let's see how different it's going to be. It's very different. It's a smaller list. We don't have repeating values. So it first checks for multiples of 3 and 5. If there's none, then it checks for multiples of 3. And if there are no multiples of 3, then it checks for 5. And there we have it. Is there anything else? All right, so let's recap. Let's see what we checked here. So we did if statements. We did the less than or equal to. Then we did the equal to. We did the modulus. All right. The modulus is basically to find multiples of a certain number. And then we had the else. All right. The else statement. I think we're done for now. Please, if you have any questions, leave them in the comments, and I'll see you in the next tutorial.